I'm really moving away from this whole idea of dream jobs, because I don't think that that's real. I don't think we have dream jobs. I mean, our dreams are fleeting. They come and they go. Right. But what I want women to think about is where they can have impact, right? Where can their skills be really meaningful and they can have a real impact in the world?
Hey queens, yeah, you know who you are. God, come on, go ahead and put that crown on your head. Now tilt a little to the left, now a little to the right. Perfect. Now let's get to work, because we know you got big goals and you got big dreams and not afraid to let them know. Why? Because you step into your purpose, you speak out on your faith, and you shift up in your journey, because you a boss. Welcome to the podcast Drop the Expiring Act with your host Velly of QueenBayGoals.com, reminding you that you are a queen before anything else. It's your life and your goals. Make it royal. All right, y'all. Go ahead and work that crown. Today is National Mentoring Day. Look, I didn't even know that was a holiday. But anyways, you get a special episode of the Drop the Aspiring podcast early this week because we had an actual mentor on our podcast. So in this week's episode, we're talking to mentor Ashley Adams, who is the founder of MentorMe, a professional development company for women. And in this company, Ashley uses mentoring to serve women and teach them how to leverage their leadership skills to thrive personally and professionally. There are a lot of great gems in this episode, guys, so please take a listen. So, hi, Queen Bays. Welcome to another episode of the Drop the Aspiring Act podcast. And today we have with us, and I have to make sure that I get all of this right because it's so much goodness, Big Sister Impact, Acting Vice President of the Beehive, and founder of MentorMe, Dr. Ashley Adams. So before we even get into, how you started your business, I want to know, how did you become VP of the Beehive? Because is there an application?
I do this. The Queen invited me to be a part of the Hive, and I graciously accepted. I'm happy.
That is awesome.
I am happy.
Wow. That is so cool. I'm like, how do you even get to become a VP for the Beehive? I thought that was so cool. So go ahead and tell us a bit about yourself and how you started your company, MentorMe.
Yeah, I'm Ashley, and I work with new mid-level and senior level, high impact and high achieving women to help them grow and develop their careers in a meaningful way. I'm so passionate about doing that work through mentorship and really being able to serve women who feel stuck in the world of work. I'm so excited about providing women with a real framework, providing women with a real pathway to move from where they are to where they want to be in their career. For so many women, we spend a lot of time at work and we're pouring into our organizations in really impactful ways, but feel overworked and underpaid and undervalued. And so my life's work is about providing avenues for women to find real meaning in their work and identify their career area of impact so that they can have more of what they want out of the world of work and really have real impact in the world.
That is so awesome. I love it. I was in the career space a couple of years ago, and I kind of stepped out of it because I'm like, there's not a lot of people here that look like me. There's not a lot of mentors that I can find. It's like, I'm probably doing the wrong thing, or I wasn't at your company or where you're at. I wish there were more companies like yours out there in the world. So how do women find you for mentorship?
Yeah, it's interesting. I have been mentoring women throughout the course of my life and career, but actually just this month on August 7th, MentorMe, my business and executive coaching and mentorship brand is only 1 year old. And so it really was just over the past year that I realized, wow, there's so many women that I could serve at a higher level if I really branded and developed this work rather than just, accepting random emails from people like, hey, Ashley, Ashley, will you mentor me?
Right.
And the work that I've been doing across a decade in mentorship is something that I'm so passionate about and I love to do. But I don't think that I realized that I had a framework, that I had leverage and positioning and strategy that just wasn't common. It wasn't, Google this and learn it. It was high level, high impact, like intentional strategy for Black women in particular. And like you mentioned, that just doesn't happen often, right? A lot of people just don't have that. And so like coming to the framework, the mindset that like, oh wow, like I actually have something that women really want, and if I package it and deliver it, they will be served by it, was something that I'm just so proud of. And I think that that's true for a lot of women. Like they have the skills, they have the credentials, they're Jills of all trades, right? Like they have all this knowledge, but they don't know how to use it, right? They don't know how to leverage it. They don't know how to package it and deliver it to an employer so that they can see the value in it and really pay them for the value, right? About securing that bag and paying them for the value of their work. And so that's what I help them do.
So did you have a mentor that guided you on this path of helping other women? Like, did somebody else say, wait a minute, Ashley, you can actually help other women to do this as well? Did you have a mentor that helped you?
I have had mentors throughout every phase of my life, and I'm so grateful for that. In my career, because I still work full time in addition to running my business full time, I have two mentors, and two different women who are senior level administrators who are doing really amazing work, and I leverage them all the time. And I really believe in women having mentors that can pour into them. Obviously, that's a part of my platform. I also, in growing and developing my business, have a business mentor and a business coach, because even mentors need mentors, right? Even business professionals, right, need business coaches. And so I think that increasingly, because early in my business, over the first 8 months or so, I was really focused on new and mid-level professionals. And I love working with those women. But just recently, I really started to work with mid and executive level women, because I was finding that they were needing mentorship too. Mm-hmm. There were so many competencies to get to that C-suite, to get to those, associate vice president or, senior vice president level roles. But there's just no mentorship in the middle. Maybe there's some for those new folks, but there's none in the middle. And so I just developed the MentorMe Mastermind, which will now allow me to serve more mid and senior level women to help them rise in the ranks of corporate, nonprofit, and educational leadership by teaching them those highly valued competencies at the next stage of the career. And that's what I'm really excited about too, to be able to span across the career of women from, new professionals who are right out of undergrad maybe and are starting their first job, up through women who have completed their doctoral degrees and are looking to leverage those degrees to advance their careers as well.
That's awesome. So what advice would you give to women who are just stuck, like they're still in their aspiring act and they don't know how to get to that next level? They don't know how to ask, well, how can I find a mentor? Who's going to be my mentor? Especially when there are not a lot of people that look like them in their work environment. What advice would you give to those women?
Yeah. So if you want to work with me as a mentor, I do serve new and mid-level professional women. I do that through my MentorMe Accelerator program. So that's an opportunity for you to have comprehensive career development support. We literally go through everything from identifying your strengths and weaknesses to identify your values and your career area of impact. I'm really moving away from this whole idea of dream jobs, because I don't think that that's real. I don't think we have dream jobs. I mean, our dreams are fleeting. They come and they go. Right? But what I want women to think about is where they can have impact, right? Where can their skills be really meaningful and they can have a real impact in the world? And so that's what I'm talking to women about. And then once we've identified what career paths, what job titles, what industries you can have the most impact in, then I'm helping you get there. The next session is about resume, cover letter, templates, presentations. The next is about interview strategy and just making sure you're positioning yourself as a top candidate. Then we do negotiation strategy to make sure you're getting the money that you want in terms of salary or contract based on your industry. And then I'm not dropping you off at the end of that. We're also talking about success in the first 90 days and managing up. So it's not just about identifying and securing the job, but it's also about it's also about making sure that once you secure the job, you're successful in it. And so that last session in that 6-session series is about your first 90 days on the job, so we can make sure you start smart. And I'm accepting women into that accelerator program right now. So if you want to work with me, you can simply go to mentor-me.org. That's mentor-me.org. Schedule a mentor moment, and we can hop on a phone call and identify if that's a good fit for you. Out in the world of work, you can also identify mentors. So maybe there's a woman that you admire, someone that you really want to learn from. I encourage you to reach out to folks and say, hey, I really value the work that you do. I watched your career over a number of years, weeks, months, whatever. And I really like how you approach X, Y, and Z. I'm looking for a mentor to help me with A, B, and C. And I feel confident that you can do that. Can we meet next week for 30 minutes to talk more about my interest in you serving as my mentor and how you can best serve me over time?
So
right? An easy template to do that.
So what if they go through that template and they ask the person, can you mentor me? And they're like, well, I don't have the time to be a mentor. What advice would you give to those people?
Yeah, you respectfully say, thanks so much for considering it. I certainly hope that you might consider taking me on as a mentee when you have more capacity and you find someone else.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So one of the questions that we asked our podcast guests for this season is how long were they actually stuck in the aspiring phase before they actually moved into their actual role? And I love your answer because you are very intentional and you're very high energy, which I love. So tell us about what that answer was, because a lot of people, they've spent like years in the aspiring phase, but you are just about living an intentional life. So how can we live intentional like Ashley? Tell us about that.
I would encourage you not to try to do it like me, but just to do it. I say this often, is that I am rarely stuck. Not never, but I'm rarely stuck because I'm so intentional about doing the work. I don't get caught up. I don't get stuck. I get scared, but I don't stay there. Mm-hmm. And I think that too often women get scared and they just stay there. They stay stuck. And if you can make a small move, a slight move, a shift, a pivot, if you can just quit.
Small changes. Mm-hmm.
Just quit doing it and do something different. I think that you will see results that are unmeasurable. Other strategies I encourage is to go see a licensed clinical psychologist. I literally believe in the power of therapy to help you get out of your head and to move into a space of action. I also encourage you to have someone who can tell you the truth, even if that someone is you. Too often, one of the reasons why we stay stuck and we can't live with intention and we can't move forward is, and we need to drop things, right? And I know that that's a big part of this work, is that we lie to ourselves. We will have a million receipts about how we're awesome and how we've done the work and how we've shown up. And then we will literally tell ourselves, I can't do this. I don't know if this is a good fit for me. I don't know if I have enough to do this. I don't know where to start. You know where to start. Mm-hmm. And so stop lying to yourself and tell yourself the truth and lean into that truth to own your life and do the work.
So outside of mentorship, because a lot of us are, like you said, lying to ourselves and we don't have a circle of people who are actually telling us the truth. Like, how do you find people that can tell you the truth?
Yeah, I think that one of the ways that I am intentional about building community is that I look for people who are consistently excellent. So people who are consistently doing the work, whatever that work is. So say you want to work in accounting and you might follow accountants on social media, or you might work with a couple of like master level accountants in your workplace. Seek out the people who are consistently excellent, not a flash in the pan, not somebody that just got like a promotion and doing something cool you want to connect. Find the person who's consistently excellent and see if you can get closer to them. See what you can glean from them. See how you can be in their sphere of like influence or their sphere of like knowledge. engage with them, go to their public presentations. If it's on social, comment on their work, DM them that you like, what they're doing. Like, make sure that you are like connected, and you have to be vulnerable enough, honestly, and be open enough to engage first, even before they're giving you anything, even before you make an ask, right, for anything. And people will bring you into their circle slowly, but surely. And then the other thing I would say is that you have to be prepared to invest. Receiving my mentorship is not free. It is an investment, and it's a significant investment, but there's never been a woman who walked away from my mentorship and wasn't better for it. And because my mentorship right now, a lot of it is in small group cohort, it's not just me that you're connecting with, but you're connecting with other high achieving women. And so sometimes you do have to pay to get into these rooms. You have to make an investment to get into a space, but know that if you are in that space, if you are committed to doing the work, that investment is going to come back to you tenfold. I mean, my mentees are getting $12,000 increases from career to career after working with me. And my mentorship is less than 10% of that, right? And so making that investment is absolutely going to be an investment that's worth it.
I love that. I love everything that you're saying. If anybody that's listening to this podcast, they definitely need to go to mentorme.org, mentor-me.org, and check out Ashley's mentorship program, because a lot of times, and that's what we talk about in Goal Guide number 6, it's about building strong relationships, and you have to be in the room with these people in order to start building those relationships. And that is very key and very important. So I love everything that you're saying, Ashley. So I know you've told us already, but how can our listeners find you? Like, how can they work with you? Like, how can they start pounding on your doors?
Yes, I'm so excited to connect with you. I'm so excited to build community with you and learn from you as well. So the best place for you to connect with me first is through my website. Go to mentor-me.org. You can learn more about me, my role in the Beehive. You can see more about the Accelerator. Exactly. Yes, you can learn more about that right there. Of course, you can sign up for a mentor moment. That gives us an opportunity to hop on a phone call for me to learn more about you, what the most pressing issue is facing your career, and really understand how I can best serve you. There, you can also learn about my Accelerator program and webinars that I offer for women. I'm excited to connect with you on Instagram as well. So that's a great way to connect with me. I am at Instagram.com/Ashley Ashire. That's ASHLEY Ashire is my middle name. I'm also on Twitter.
All of these links below. So everybody, the links will be in the description as well. But sorry, Ashley, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I also love to tweet. I'm big on Twitter and love to engage there. And that's the same, twitter.com/Ashley, ASSHIRE, Ashley Ashire.
Yes, and all of the links and all of the places where you can find Ashley will be in the description of the podcast, wherever you guys are listening to. So one other thing, we always close our podcast with a quote of the podcast, and Ashley actually gave her affirmation, which is, I reject overwhelm and instead invite peace, joy, and ease into my life. So why did you choose that as your quote or affirmation for the podcast?
Because, child, I'm busy. I am really busy. I just be doing all kinds of things, and I just be doing things. But the truth is that I reject overwhelm, right? Like, I'm not going to lean into overwhelm. I'm not going to let overwhelm me. Instead, what I'm going to do is invite peace, joy, and ease into my life. I reject overwhelm. I reject feeling stress. It doesn't mean that I don't feel it. It means that I reject the overwhelming feeling of it. And instead, I'm inviting peace, joy, and ease into my life at every turn.
Thank you, Ashley. It was so great to talk to you. So many gems in this episode. I have my books. I can go look and read and take notes again when I listen to it. Thank you for coming on the podcast with me this week. And I'll talk to you guys in the next podcast episode. You have been listening to another episode of Drop the Aspiring Act. If you're looking for more information on this podcast and other episodes, please visit queenbaygoals.com.